a very big way. And the top breaking news that we had brought you just before that, we went in, we telecast that live speech of Union Home Minister was about the terror operations that are underway in the Kokernag forests. We were just speaking to Zenith and she was giving us inputs on the presence of a dreaded terrorist there. Zenith, over to you once again. We were interrupted by that live telecast, but it's if you could tell our viewers now what you were telling us about these operations that are continuing on today too.
Operation that was put on hold during night has resumed in the morning with the first light of sun in the forest area of Gadul, Kokernag of Anantnag district, where the terrorists have been encircled. And this has also been confirmed by the J&K police that a local terrorist, Uzair Khan, along with one more foreign terrorist, have been encircled. And now we are seeing also the drones, helicopters have been put to service to find the hiding terrorists. Yesterday, the army and Jammu and Kashmir police suffered heavy casualty of 3 of its officers. One officer, DSP Kokernag Ops Humayu Muzammil, he lost his life in a terror attack, and later midnight he was buried by his family members. And since then we are seeing that there's a lot of search operations, lot of intelligence was generated by J&K police along with army to find out that who the terrorists are, who are actually in this forest area. And finally some input has been generated, and now finally the J&K police have put out a tweet where they have mentioned about the Uzair Khan, who's an elite terrorist and have been missing since last year, July. And since then he was active with the elite, which is again a Pak-based terror organization in the Kashmir Valley, along with one more foreign terrorist who is believed to be has been encircled in this forest bed. So this is the second day of the operation where we are seeing more and more reinforcement, intelligence, and also all the efforts are being made by the joint forces to have one more encounter with these terrorists who are hiding in the hillocks, so that they are able to neutralize them, and also they are able to avenge the death of those brave hearts who lost their life in the terror attack in yesterday.
And Zenith, when we talk about recoveries, were there any recoveries made that would indicate that this was a different kind of terror infiltration? Or were these homegrown terrorists who were here and aided by overground workers?
This is the same group that has carried a strike last month in Kulgam, where again there was a casualty to army. So we are picking from the sources. This is the same terrorist group that had carried a strike earlier in Kulgam of South Kashmir, and now finally, after getting a specific intelligence on the presence of terrorists, a joint operation was launched by Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police on Tuesday night in Garol, Anantnag. The contact was established and the firefight ensured. However, the 2 army personnel and the 1 J&K officer have been lost his life yesterday. We also picked up from the police sources that a joint team of police and Rashtra Rifles had launched this operation in the forest area after getting the credible leads. Even the officers who were injured, they tried to evacuate them, particularly this Humayu, but he succumbed due to the grave injuries. When we talk about Humayu, but he is the son of a retired Inspector General of Police, Ghulam Hassan Butt, who has served as DIG Central Kashmir and remained on many important portfolios. We are also thinking that the terrorists fired at him and his team, and due to which he got critically injured. Preliminary reports suggest that the 2 terrorists are spotted and they have now been encircled in the area following a credible tip of the joint team of security forces comprising of army and police personnel came under fire from the hiding terrorists yesterday morning during the search operation in this very forest belt.
And also, when we talk about the fact that there are some reports circulating and that the Indian Army has clear inputs that about terror launch pads in Pakistan being that terrorists are making preparations. More terrorists are making preparations to infiltrate, and it's very important. So as such, that makes this encounter, this operation, extremely significant. It's a very crucial time.
See, of course, it's a very crucial tribe for the forces working in Jammu and Kashmir and those who are dealing with these kind of these deadly attacks. And if we talk about yesterday's encounter, yes, there have been the number of occasions where the DGP J&K police, Dilbag Singh, have admitted that the infiltration had taken place from the Samba, Rajouri, Poonch sector. Though the LC from Uri and Uri, Balamula, Kupwara, they have where the terrorists tried to sneak in, but they were neutralized in a number of operations this year. But as far as the LC is concerned, the international border is concerned, it has come from that side. And this terror group is this terrorists, the Pakistani terrorists, have been living in the forest belt for quite some time now, and we have not seen a very good operation where the foreign terrorists have been neutralized. If we see in the last 8 months or so, only one or two operations had taken place. That also in the Kulgam, in the Hinterland, not at the upper belt. So there were the imports and the credible leads that the foreign terrorists are making the movements between Kulgam, Anantnag, Shopian, and Pulwama. This is a very reach that connects you to the Pir Panchal range. So the terrorists had those who had infiltrated from the international border, they are making their movements this way. And there was the source that was penetrated by the security forces in the terrorist group who had given the information about the terrorists moving in this upper belt. And that is why the Caso party had gone to this very forest area on Tuesday. And in the morning yesterday, they had an exchange of fire in which there were grave injuries. But finally, one of the officers come, and as per the reports, that 2 more officers coming from the 19 RR have also come, although their bodies are yet to be retrieved. And we are seeing the movement of the helicopters and the chopper services making rounds around this forest area to see where the terrorists are hiding.
Many thanks, Zeenat, for that detailed update. It's certainly a day of mourning, even as we pay tribute to our fallen soldiers who were killed in that crackdown on terror in Jammu and Kashmir yesterday. The operation continues and terrorists have been encircled. Zeenat bringing us all the updates. Let's listen in to some reactions that are coming in on this story, reactions of relatives of our soldiers.
भाई हम इस टाइम इतने बहुत ज़्यादा दुखी।
अभी क्या पता चला है कि बॉडी जो है वो
एज पर द पेपर रिपोर्ट सी बता रहे हैं कि 4-5 बजे तक मोहाली पहुंच जाएगी।
जो उनका गांव,
हाँ, मोहाली के पास एक गांव छोटा सा।
कितने बच्चे हैं?
2 ही बच्चे हैं, एक बेटी है, एक बेटा है।